that's a whole different animal because they recognize that they get lost when they drive. They recognize they can't make the remote on the TV work. And it's very frustrating. And it's very isolating because you don't want people to see that you're struggling.
Hey, this is Matt Helton with One Trust Home Loans, and you found the Serving Senior podcast. Now, this is the podcast we highlight those professionals and businesses that are helping seniors not just get by, not just survive, but thrive in retirement. And we have two more of those individuals today. We have some awesome guests talking about how they help seniors in their retirement. And we've got Miss Judy Given. Now, Judy is the Director of Campus Development at Abe's Garden. And we've got our sidekick, Miss Jaime William. Now, Jamie's the Community Club Manager at Abe's Garden. So thank you so much for being here. How are y'all doing today?
Great.
Terrific. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, you're so welcome. Well, thank you for being so diligent over the holidays of getting this scheduled. We appreciate you guys and really excited to hear your message. Did you guys have a good holiday?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Busy.
Really? Gotcha. Well, I'm sure you were serving those seniors over the holidays too, weren't you?
Oh, yeah.
They were having a blast, and we were having a great time with them.
I bet they were. Well, I know some of the listeners will know all about Abe's Garden and what you do, and then some people won't know anything about it. So maybe if you guys could share with us, who you are as a person, maybe some background, where you're from, and what you do before this, and how in the world did you get into serving seniors like this? I'd love to hear.
Okay. Jamie, okay if I start?
Sure, yeah.
All right. So my dad was the Abe of Abe's Garden. And we got into this work because he had Alzheimer's, and we struggled over the 11 years of his illness trying to find supports that were right for him at the different stages.
Okay.
And it's very different at the beginning as the middle or the end stage of Alzheimer's. And we tried lots of different settings and lots of different support services. And one of the things that I found was that every person going through this with their loved ones is trying to create the solutions for themselves.
Right.
Everybody was kind of trying to figure it out. And we discovered that there was a lot of wonderful things going on in senior care, but there were also a lot of gaps that we wished we had services for. And just felt like if we need it, other people need it. And so along with my brother, I have three brothers actually, but one of my brothers in particular said, if you can't find what you're looking for, you should build it.
Wow.
And that's how we got into this business, using what we had learned about what our ideals were, what we wished we could find. And that's really how I got into this. My background is with special needs children.
Okay.
I worked in special ed for 17 years in Baltimore. But I'm from Nashville. I'm actually a third generation Nashvilleian.
Oh, nice. You're a unicorn.
Yeah, deep roots.
That's awesome.
And it really served us well because we needed to reach out to the community. We are a nonprofit. Okay. So we had to find donors and we had to find grants to make this happen. And that long-standing relationship in this community helped us bring this into being.
That's fantastic. Well, we know two things about you, Judy. It sounds like one's a visionary, and number two, you're very tough. Because if you survived having three brothers, you probably got lots of lumps over the years.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's
I don't
really
take no very well, so it helps me be very resilient and determined to make things happen.
That is awesome. And what year did you get involved? What year did all this happen?
This started in 2008, but my dad died in 2006.
Okay.
So the idea had really been germinating long before he had died. And just our experiences. I mean, when I'm talking with families on tours, I'm sharing lots of stories of how my dad was dealing with boredom, dealing with his inability to initiate something to do. So even when you get the care needs taken care of, he was still floundering, and that led to a lot of anxiety and agitation and just wandering and anger. And so we kept feeling like there should be some more things available.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's hard to watch that and be helpless to help them solve it.
Wow, that's awesome. And now, or is it, are you the family member that's mainly involved? The brothers involved as well?
All of my brothers are involved to some degree.
Okay.
My oldest, well, I have three older brothers, so I'm the baby, and the only girl. My brother Mike Shmerling is actually the instigator of this. He's the one
Okay.
that said, "I'm going to build it."
Got it.
I had a background, a clinical background, and so I said, "Well, let's do it." He said, "Great, we're going to develop a model of care that's going to elevate dementia care globally."
Wow.
I said, "Okay, let's do that." You know, I mean, if you've got a way to make that happen, I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
And I think here we are 16 years later, having accomplished a lot of that.
That's so cool.
But we're not done. The program that Jaime's running is the newest addition, which is to take things that we've learned and take them into the community where people aren't going to move into our community. It's too far away. They need support where they're living, which in this case is Williamson County. So Jaime, you should share about your story.
Yes. So I graduated in 2010 with a
Okay.
bachelor's degree in health and human performance.
Nice.
I actually did not know what I wanted to do when I was graduating, but I did my internship as an activity director.
Okay.
Instantly fell in love. So
Hmm.
between 2010 to 2024, I've been working in adult day health,
Okay.
independent living, assisted living, memory support, and I worked in one skilled nursing facility for a little bit in multiple different states. And so when I moved back here, I'm from Nashville as well. I'm a little
Okay.
unicorn.
What a unicorn.
That's awesome. Two unicorns in one
Yeah.
place. That's awesome.
When I moved back here to Nashville in 2020,
Okay.
I was offered a job at Abe's Garden and I love it. Been there ever since. Wouldn't trade
Okay.
it.
That is fantastic. That's so cool. And maybe share with us, Judy gave us share some background like about what's your capacity? What do you do at Abe's Garden?
Sure. So when I first started at Abe's Garden, I worked in the home care division. And then I moved up to the memory support, memory care engagement manager.
Okay.
And now I'm the community club manager, where it's the first pilot program in Williamson County, aside from the campus at Abe's Garden. So it'll be the first adult day program in Williamson County.
Adult day pro. Okay. That sounds awesome. And especially if you're an adult that gets to go to the program, it sounds really fun. But maybe for those like me that not for sure what an adult day program is, could you break it down and let people know exactly what that would look like?
Absolutely. So we are Monday through Friday for now. We might look into Saturdays eventually when the need is there. We're Monday through Friday, 9 to 3, with the option of extended hours. So if the family member needs to arrive a little bit early or to stay a little bit after 3, that's an option as well. We provide person-centered engagement. So we really try to build our activity calendar around what the members are interested in. So we really get them involved in the planning. We have music therapy, we have art, we have exercise, we have brain trivia, we have book clubs, we have travel clubs. We have everything.
Wow, that's right. And so is it you guys have a facility that people would bring their loved ones to for the day?
We do.
And then they would either go to work or they would just have a day off and do some self-care.
Absolutely. Yep.
Fantastic. That's great. Now, where's your specific program? Where is that located?
We're located 1909 Mallory Lane, Suite 203.
Okay, nice.
Over near Cool Springs Mall.
Right in the heart of Cool Springs. That is so cool. That is so cool. You have is there a certain ages, certain functionality they need to have? How does that work?
So upon admission, we do an assessment. We like for them to be independent with most aspects, ambulation, toileting,
Okay.
eating. But we, determine that upon the assessment. It's any senior with any cognitive impairment.
Okay. Cognitive impairment. Okay. Got it. Well, that sounds fantastic. Have you, two questions. One, have you guys met Claire Spencer yet?
I don't think so.
So Claire has a business called Petworthy. So she's a nurse, but she actually does dog therapy. So I don't know if you guys have done anything like that.
She was at the geriatric council meeting. Yeah.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
didn't hear.
Okay. She's great. That might be could be an interest. And then do you guys know Cheryl Blanchard?
Yep.
Or Cheryl? I guess the memory care, the walk. I'm on the
Alzheimer's Association.
Alzheimer's Association
Nice.
committee for the walk for the spring. So
Yeah.
that's great. That's definitely a big deal. I'd love to make sure you might be a way, because we're always promoting it. So maybe a way we could talk more outside of here, but ways that we could with the community promote that walk, because it's coming up in the spring.
We have participated in years past. But back to the pets, on the main campus, we have a great deal of pet therapy.
Oh, good.
We have employees that bring their pets to work and bring them through. We have family members who bring the family pet to come visit. And then there's a lot of volunteers who bring their pets in. And the residents respond very strong. They respond very well to pets. We've even had reptiles come and visit, and they get very excited about almost any animal that comes in. And we have birds on campus in an aviary, and it's very engaging.
That's
so
awesome.
We are very pet friendly. We don't want the residents being responsible to care for the pets themselves, so we don't have resident pets. Lots of visiting pets.
That's so awesome. Well, maybe you could share, just so people that are listening, maybe if they have a specific person in mind or specific scenario, maybe you guys could share a couple examples of people that's came in that you've been able to help and how you've bettered their retirement and bettered their situation.
Yeah, I'd like to take that one first, just because on the main campus, we have a day program that is what we're mirroring the Williamson County.
Okay.
That one has been going for probably 9 years.
Okay.
Be about 8 years. Right. But we also have independent living for seniors. We have assisted living, and then our memory support. So those are all residential programs for folks that are in various stages of aging and various needs of independence, or needing support with personal care, or needing cognitive support, which is the engagement, socialization, that piece. And then, so other things that we've been adding, that's a great little handout that talks about the Williamson County program. But these would be the same kinds of activities you find on campus, whether it was independent, assisted, or memory care, and the day programs. Okay. So engagement for us is really at the key. We have found that if you have an aging brain, it's relative to you. Everybody needs to have a sense of purpose. They need to have structure, routine. They need friends. They need things to do that are age appropriate, but also appropriate for their cognitive abilities. Okay. So we don't have one size fits all programming. We try to have programming for folks at various stages, with or without dementia. And then we've opened up a lot of these programs for the community. So if you're not ready for residential care, you just need a place to go during the day, you have opportunities to come to our day program, which is the club. Got it. On campus, that program is a good one to help people who are close to being ready for residential, because they get very comfortable in the environment. They get to know the staff, the routines. They're at home there, and when the time comes to move in, it's an easier transition. Got it. But we also had people that were in a much earlier stage who were self-aware of their losses, of what's changing because of the dementia. And that's a whole different animal, because they recognize that they get lost when they drive. They recognize they can't make the remote on the TV work. And it's very frustrating, and it's very isolating, because you don't want people to see that you're struggling. And so that early stage program gives them a place to get together with others who go, yeah, that's happening to me too. And they do brain healthy kinds of engagement together and get support with it.
Okay.
So not only does it give respite to the families who are caregivers 24/7, so that for 6 hours a day or 4 hours a day, their loved ones are engaged and having a great time. It gives them time to go take care of themselves or chores that they just don't get to.
Mhm.
So our goal really was to create a continuum of support and then to become trusted advisors for families going through this so that everyone is not trying to figure it out by themselves.
Mm. Wow, that's fantastic. Sounds like you've done this a couple times.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's been learning. This is what we
Mhm.
wished had been there
Yeah.
for my dad, and then for my mom and for myself. We were all, trying to figure out how do you get dad in the car when he was
Right.
struggling to figure out if he put his foot in first or sat down first or ducked his head first, and he'd end up sitting on the ground and my mom's trying to get him up. Nobody was advising her on how to manage his care. I'm trying to
Mhm.
provide, but I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So that's really our goal globally, is to take care of families who are trying to provide support for their loved ones. And when it's time to make that difficult decision to move them into care, giving them support and guidance on that too.
That's fantastic work. Well, I can tell you guys both have just a strong heart for serving these seniors. And I usually ask people like what their superpowers are, but since we got two of you on here, I'll go ahead and have Jaime tell us what you think Miss Judy's superpowers are that allows her to do so, and then Judy, what Miss Jaime's superpowers are to serve these seniors.
I think that Judy has a lot of empathy and compassion, and that really, really, really helps people navigate their aging process. You can connect with them on a great level, Judy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, that's awesome.
Gosh, and then Jaime's superpowers. Jaime has the ability to put everybody at ease. So that when you are having difficult conversations about their loved one and what they need and the struggles that they're having as a caregiver, it also comes down to empathy and compassion. But you also have a way of making people feel comfortable so that they feel like they can talk about this. And you can quickly become a trusted advisor for them. And now you're creating a place to hold their loved ones. When we do this, the families are watching what we're doing. So we're also educating them on how to talk to somebody who's struggling with language or how to redirect a challenging behavior if they get into obsessive thinking. I need my car, I need to go, I need to go, I need to go. And the families, you can't go, you can't go. And they get stuck into this dynamic. Jaime can model with the family how to navigate that dynamic.
That's great.
So I think she's got a lot of superpowers.
That's so cool. Sounds like you guys make a dynamic duo, the female version of Batman and Robin right here in front of us, huh? That's fantastic. Well, maybe could you guys share, if you want to kind of break it down for people as far as we do this, and this. So it sounds like we have a day program and then people can stay in a facility. Is that correct? People
Right.
could basically move in. And then is there any different, I guess, what would be the difference between maybe comparative, mention no names, but like an Abe's Garden based on being a nonprofit compared to other facilities? Maybe what type of people would your campus and your situation resonate with, maybe compared to other places?
Want me to start that one, Jaime?
Sure.
Abe's Garden, our campus is in a building that was built in 1962.
Okay.
It was independent living only when Abe's Garden got involved in 2008. We've added lots of layers of support, but it is not shiny and new and fancy, and it's really for people. It feels more like home than other communities that feel a little bit more formal.
Okay.
There are people that like that. We are a rental model for the residential part, which is different than other types of folks where you have to buy in. Okay. And that works for some families. And then I think being a nonprofit means that there's a board of directors managing what we do, but there's no investors that we have to make money for. We're not driven by that bottom line to help we have donors who the only thing they want in return for their donations is to see us do something good
Wow.
with the money, do what we said we were going to do. So that when we come back to them and say we need more because we want to expand, they're willing to support us. And every decision we make is for the betterment of the families that we serve, the residents, their loved ones, our staff, and the community at large. So those are some of the differences. But there is residential care, which is the independent living, independent people who just need a lot of amenities like transportation and meals and engagement so that they can stay independent. Then you have assisted living where they need support with personal care, bathing, dressing, medication management by a nurse. And then you have people who need those services in addition to the kinds of things that Jaime's offering, support, socialization, opportunities to stretch their brains. You know, if they sit home a lot and watch TV all day, they're not getting an opportunity to keep their brains engaged. So we have programming in all of our programs, in the day programs, early stage day program, and the club for folks that are a little closer to being ready for residential care. We also have a home care program that Jaime mentioned, where we have Abe's Garden at home, and you can invite our folks to come in and help with personal care or help with engagement. So even if they're not moving in, and some of those folks will come to our campus and join the really rich engagement that's going on every day, and then go back home. So we have a lot of ways to support families as they try to navigate what's right for their loved ones right now.
That's awesome. So that's so cool. Jaime, anything you want to add to that?
Just as far as how we stand out at the club at Cool Springs, we're, like I said earlier, we're Williamson County's first licensed adult daycare specializing in memory support. So I think that sets us apart from a lot of others.
That makes sense. Well, maybe tell me, besides what you guys do, any other, when people come through, is there any other resources that you guys recommend that people check out just to add value and help maybe the people that tour your facility, the people that are struggling with a loved one that maybe is having some cognitive issues?
Well, I mean, I think everybody has to build their village of support. We work a lot with hospice. We work a lot with care management. There's geriatric care managers that support families, especially if their loved ones live out of state. And so we often are recommending that they look to those resources so that they have someone to do what you would do if you lived here with your mom or dad. You know, I think one of our goals and as campus development, what that meant early on was I talk to families all day and they tell me where there's gaps, what they wish they could find in terms of support. And that has led us to develop new programs that will fill those gaps. I will tell you, there's lots of gaps that I know of now, and we're always saying, slow down, we can't do all of it right now. But I do see that we're going to continue looking for opportunities to grow our program to meet unmet needs. And so, yeah, I mean, that's one of my main goals. You know, my background is a therapist, working with families and their children, and now families and their adult seniors, is to guide them on the thing. The support group is essential. They need to find, whether it's through the Alzheimer's Association. I have a support group for families that are not living in, and some of our residents that newly moved in still join us on those Zoom calls. So if people are interested, they can reach out to Jaime, and I think her number was on that flyer. You can also call the main campus and ask for me. That number is 615-383-7303. That's my number is actually 522. I'm not going to give it to you on this. We'll come back to that. I hope that maybe when you post this, you'll be able to post our contact information a little more coherently than that. But yeah, it's 383-7303. So 615-383-7303 is the main number on campus. And then Jaime's number is at the bottom of that flyer.
That's fantastic. So, if someone's listening to this and they're in the senior space, but maybe they don't have a need with one of their clients, but they are involved in the senior world, who should they send this to? Meaning that where do you find like in-home care? Do you find other professionals that a lot of the referrals come from that would be a good person for them to share this message with?
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, you need to share if you know somebody is struggling as
Yeah.
a caregiver, or they have a neighbor that they worry about, or an aunt or an uncle or sibling. One of my personal goals is to support families, whether or not they're going to move into my community.
Mhm.
Nobody should have to struggle with this and feel like there's nobody listening and nobody available. So that's my personal goal so they're welcome to reach out to me, and I can refer them. Once I hear their story and what their needs are, we may not be the right place,
Mhm.
but we can guide them to communities that are better suited for their particular challenges.
That sounds great. Is there, I know Jamie, you're in Williamson County, I guess, Judy, and then do you find that most of your in-home folks are folks that live in your facility? Do they come from the Middle Tennessee, touching Davidson County kind of region?
Yeah.
Yeah, many do. Many move here because their children are here, their adult
Mhm.
Okay.
children. Mom, I need you to be closer to me. We're moving to
Mhm.
Nashville, and they'll go search
Mhm.
for communities, and if they land on us, we try to show them what's special about our community, and there's a lot, um, so that they will, share their parents and their loved ones with us.
That's fine. When people reach out to you, where do they hear from you guys most? Where do they hear about y'all mostly?
We have a strong presence online, and we have a lot of referral, word of mouth. A lot of physicians know about our work. Care managers know about us.
Mhm.
So I think that we get referrals from families, and then they talk to each other, just as you said. If you're going through this and you find a resource that's good, you end up sharing it with everyone you know that's going through it too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We're in a couple publications also. I know Southern Exposure.
That's good. Gotta get the word out.
Yeah.
Gotta get
You
the
don't
word
want to
out.
be a best kept secret for sure.
That's
No.
right. That's right. Well, Judy, I guess now that you guys are, what are you, 16, 18 years into this thing, and you're glorifying your father's name, I guess what would Abe say about if he saw, sorry, when he's looking down at what you guys are doing, what do you think he's saying about what you guys have accomplished and
Well, I
plan on
think
doing in the
he'd be
future?
glad that something positive came out of his disease.
Mhm.
He was very humble. I don't think he would have liked a big mess being made about him, a big fuss about him.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
his mother and his sister died with this disease.
Hmm.
At one point, he wrote a paper that started with "Something's got to be done."
Wow.
He was a physician, and he was frustrated with the direction that insurance companies and medicine was going, telling doctors how to treat and how long you could keep them in the hospital for various things. And, but he just felt like the marginalized population needed support, and it wasn't getting the attention it needed, and that something needed to be done.
Mhm.
And I think that was really one of the drivers that got my brother saying, now my dad needs it. And
Wow.
if something needs to be done, it's on us to make it happen. So I think my dad would be happy that so many people's lives are improved because of our experience with his illness. And honestly, it's a bit self-serving, because I don't have any doubt that me or one of my brothers may end up going down this path. And knowing that Abe's Garden is here providing the care the way they do, it's a lot less scary.
Mhm.
It's a lot less scary. I'll be dancing and having my music on, and they'll know exactly how to calm me down. So I'm not as terrified.
That's awesome. That is very well said. And that's kind of similar to why we got into, we do mortgage financing, but we focus on serving seniors on senior mortgage lending, is because we see seniors that need what you do. They need in-home care. They need all of these services. And either one, they were raised in the time where it was kind of bootstrap it and, you know, save every penny, and they weren't spenders. So they're scared to spend. A lot of them have their homes paid off or mostly paid off, and that's their badge of honor, right? Maybe they didn't do great with finances, but they paid their house off, right? And my goodness, that's my one financial win. But they'll go without in-home care. They'll go without what you guys do because they don't want to do anything out of the norm. So we just come in and we educate them. It's not, there's not shameful, and it's not bad to convert some of your home equity into usable funds so you can actually have the retirement, not the one, just the skimp by retirement, but you can have the retirement you deserve by being on this earth for 60, 70, 80 years, right? And so we come in and teach them and the family how there's an ethical way, efficient way to use your home equity. Use the house to stay in the house is what we like to say, or use the house until then you can sell the house, and then you use the rest of the equity to move into an awesome place like you guys have. So we love to hear success stories of you guys just serving those seniors and taking great care of them. So, well, thank you guys so much for all your insight and your stories. And anything I didn't ask you that I should have asked you, or anything that you want to hit before we wrap up?
I think we
Just
covered
welcome anybody. I'm sorry, go ahead, Jamie.
Oh, I was just going to say, I think we covered a lot.
Yeah. Just invite them to reach out to us if they have questions that we can help. And even if we don't have the answers, we'll guide you to them. So
that sounds perfect. Jamie, you want to, I know we put it on the screen, but you want to go ahead and share your direct number?
Sure. It's 615-910-3789. That's my direct cell line. So you can reach me anytime.
Yep. And my direct number is 615-733-2682.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Well, guys, thanks again for what you're doing to serve those seniors. I know Abe's smiling about everything you guys have accomplished, everything you guys are going to do in the future. So great, great vision, and a great need that you guys are serving. So thanks for all you're doing.
Matt.
You're so welcome. Yep. And thank you for listening to the Serving Senior Podcast. This is the podcast where we help those individuals that serve seniors at a high level get their message and get the word out. Thanks again. You have a great day. Hey, this is Matt Helton with OneTrust Home Loans, home of Retirement Mortgage Solutions. And we really do appreciate you checking out the Serving Seniors podcast today. Now, please go to the description down in the body of the podcast where you can subscribe to get future shows. Please click that notification button so you get notified when other shows drop. And also, if you can go to servingseniourspodcast.com, and we'd love to hear a comment about our show. We have a heart to serve seniors, and we have a heart to make sure seniors don't just survive retirement, don't just get by in retirement. We want to show seniors how to thrive in retirement. So if you know of anyone that's 55 and older that could use some extra cash flow, maybe the retirement's not going the way that they like, our retirement mortgage solutions are designed for folks, depending on the state, they're either 55 or 62 and older, to make sure that they have that kind of retirement that they want. As long as they own a home and they're in a good equity position, there could be some solutions that they may not have thought about, or maybe they've thought of and they just didn't know how they work. That's what we do. So anyone in that age group that could use some mortgage advice, my team and I would love to be able to help them. Thanks again, and look forward to seeing you on the next show. Have a great day.